Welcome to Become a Full Stack Developer. Today we are going to discuss list or array. In Python, both the term list and array are same, but other language like a C Sharp, these two things are different. So what is list and why we need this? List is a data structure to store a collection of objects in a sequence way. So I have created a list. We can save different types of data type, like we can save numerical or alphabetic like ABC. So I have created a variable. The name for the variable is list number, and the bracket, this is the syntax for that, and I entered a 6 numeric value, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 1 alphabet. So now I'm just removing the alphabet A, and this is the syntax of the list. So if I want to print a list number, hit, and it has displayed the same as we entered. So list always start from 0 index. So what does this mean? The index is the position of occurrence of a specific value. Suppose here is the 1 at index 0. The 1 is exist in the index 0, and 2 is on the index 1, 3 on the index 2. So let's start with the built-in method of a list. These are many methods, but now we are just exploring few of them: append, extend, insert, remove, pop, slice, and reverse, length, count, min, max, multiply, in, and index. So let's start with the append method. Here I'm going to insert if we want to insert a single value at the end of list, we can use append method. List our variable name dot append. It is taking the object. Suppose I'm inserting 7, so the 7 will come after 6. Here is the 6 after the, here is the 7 after 6. So what is the difference between extend and append? When we want to add a list into another list, then we will use extend method. Suppose I'm inserting extend, the value for that is, I'm inserting 8 and 9. You can check that it has insert 8 and 9, but in the case of append, if I going to insert the value of 8 and 9, so it will consider that 8 and 9 only one item despite of 2. So here we go. So when I do enter 8 and 7 in the list, it considered it as one item. So when we want to save or insert one item at the end of the list, we will use append method. If we want to insert a list or another list in the existing list, we will use a extend method. This is the basic difference between them. So let's start discuss the another method, clear. Suppose I want to make my list empty. I just remove add the method list number dot clear. Here we go, we do not have anything in the list. So the another thing is that insert. If we want to insert item, insert into the list, there is a bit trick over here: append and insert. The insert, when we are going to insert item into a particular index, suppose we are going to insert suppose 10 at index 3. So our index is 4 on the value 4 is on index 3. Here we go. Now you can see that 10 is replaced on index 3 and 4 is moved to the another index 4. And another item is pop. If I want to remove an item by index, then we will use a method pop. Suppose I am removing index 2. Here's the 3. When entering, the 3 gone. And another method is, if we want to remove a particular object from the list, then we will use a remove method. It gets only, you can check that. Here's the method definition, object of t. T means generic, we can remove anything. So I'm removing 5, so it will remove the 5 in the list. 5 is no more here. So the another thing is that reverse. If we want to reverse the list, so reverse, I'm removing this one because it is parameterized. It is not it is a parameterless method. So here we go, 6 5 4 3 1 2. So the another method is, if we want to check the length of the list, so suppose I am using the len length method and removing this one, the reverse. Let's print actually over here in the print method. So it will return the total length of our list, the item in a list, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and here is the total count or total length of the item in a list. So the another method is min and max. So I want to check the minimum value, min, so it will return 1. So when I'm inserting the method max, it will return 6. So here is the interesting thing. Suppose I am going to add a one alphabet here, A, so it will not work in this case. It will throw the exception type error, because here is the number 1 2 3 4 5 6 and this is alphanumeric. So the compiler is confused because these are two different data types. So the another thing is that same like a max, and here's the multiply. If we want to multiply, if we want to add if we want to make a list in different suppose I want this list 2 times, I will use only static and then 2. You can check that this list is repeated twice. If I'm going to multiply by 4, the same value will repeated 4 times. In simple, it will create a 4 copies of the list and make it 1. Here it is. And another method is index. So I want to check that list dot index, this one. So what does this mean, index? Index is when we want to search a specific value or from the list, it will return the index of that particular value. So suppose, sorry, I will use the index here. Index. So suppose I want to check the index of 4, the value of 4, and it will return the index of 4. It is 3. So here is another thing. Suppose I want to search 41 that is not exist in the list, so it will return an error, value error, because 41 is not in a list. And another thing is that for the index later, suppose I want to check 2 or maybe I want to check 4, but I want to check this particular value start from starting index and the stopping index. We realize that we have thousands of data in our list, and we are just now to check that where this 4 exists. Suppose we do not want to iterate all the list. We want to just check that either this particular item is exists from 1 to 100 or 1 to 50 or 1 to 10. Then we will use like 2 to 5 or 2 to 4. So the iteration will search from index 2. Here is the 3 and 4. Here is the 5, because 5 is at index 4. So this method will search this 4 from the index 2 to 4. Here we go. We can check that this is the value. So the another method is that if we want to check that either this particular value exists in the list or not. So it is very simple. Suppose I want to check that I want to check that 3 in list. So this will return true or false. Either this 3 exists in the list or not. It will first return a true because 3 is already in the list. If you want to check that 13, so it will return false because 13 is not exist in the list. And here is one interesting thing that called slice. So suppose I want to print this list. Here method colon and 2. It has repeat the item from 1 to 2. We are just slicing the list from our value to ending value from where we want to go or from where we want to go. In simple wording, we simply say that slice is a span of items that are taken from a sequence. Span is contain a copy of element from starting up to ending